Um, Obviously, a fun night for our guys, and that's as a coach that you love seeing your guys play with that with that level of joy and happiness. Um, and Iowa, just have tremendous respect for them, how hard they play, how well coached they are, how hard they are to stop. And we really did struggle. We felt like if we could not score the ball tonight, that it was going to be very difficult for us to beat Iowa because of how good they are offensively. So our mindset was, we felt like we could attack them in some areas, and we felt like we needed to. And if we weren't going to, if we couldn't score the ball and make some shots, we felt like it could be a difficult night just because they're really good offensively. So give Iowa a ton of credit, give our players a ton of credit. So many contributions from so many guys.
When you go in with an approach like that, but then you end up getting 29 from Justin, how does a performance like that change your offensive game plan as the game goes on?
Well, I just, he's obviously been really shooting it well, and he's a kid that has just really grown as the seasons went on. Like when you think about him a month ago, even like at the Michigan game, he's different. He's a different player. He still struggles in some areas defensively. We had to move him off some guys tonight, but the thing I love about Justin is, as I've said before, he's a confident kid, but his focus has been on the team playing well and finding a way to help the team play well. He's lost himself in that, and I think he's been rewarded because his focus has been that, and he's continually gotten better. But that's a long answer to, obviously, it opens some things up when you have a guy. And our guys did a really good job finding him in the back end of the press some, too.
I know you take it one game at a time, but to win a game like this at this point of the season, obviously this helps the tournament resume. Is that something that factors into your mind as you appreciate this win, that maybe this could pay some dividends going forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we understand there's a lot, there's 3 games left to be played that are all going to be extremely difficult. And I think, Adam, we're just trying to keep our focus on the task at hand and in the day at hand. And if we continue to get better, hopefully our body of work will speak for itself. Obviously, this was a home win against a very good team who's had a very good season, so we acknowledge that. But unfortunately, it's not going to help us one bit when we play one of the best teams in our league on Saturday on the road.
Chris, when we talked to you yesterday, you talked about the spot that Arns was placed in. You said that spot is kind of fluid. What does an offensive performance like what Justin Arns had tonight kind of proof to that, or does it have any effect on that position? Or
are you saying he's locked to start the rest of the season? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking you that.
I think he's just got to keep working. He's just got to keep working. He's got to keep his focus about the right things. He's got to keep playing with confidence. He's got to keep getting better. It's a tremendous performance. I loved how he played and his contributions. But listen, it's not realistic to expect a freshman to go out and make 60% of his threes in every game. So let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. He's just got to keep working. If you were to say to me, was his shooting impactful? Absolutely. I would say that Caleb Wesson's physicality in the second half was as great a reason as any for our win on the offensive end. He opened up so many things for so many people, and ones for other guys, finishes for himself when we needed it, when we were having trouble stopping them. Think about the number of and ones we had in a row there. It felt like it when they just kept scoring. So I look at, as a coach, I look at his impact as significant as any.
Chris, CJ came in, I think, right away in the first possession, poked the ball away from Bohannon, and had a couple steals. It just seemed like Bohannon was never really able to get into a rhythm of the game offensively. When you can do that against this team, sort of not take him out of it, but bother him the way CJ did, what does that do for you guys on the defensive end?
He was critical. CJ's, I thought CJ 6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, defended with purpose, made Bohannon work. Then we had to switch him on to 10, Wieskamp, who was just killing us. I had 5 threes, and it was, I mean, a couple of those were incredibly difficult. Kid's a heck of a player. So we switched him then from Bohannon when Bohannon went on to Wieskamp, and he worked him. He just made him work. I thought like that gets lost in all of the scoring, 90 points and all of that, but it's so important for us in this win.
And do you feel like your guys are starting to get a little bit better understanding of how to play off of Caleb on the offensive end? I don't know if maybe you're putting them in different spots, but it just seems like with the way they're cutting, the spots they're getting to, they're helping themselves by making themselves available to
I think so. I think that the only thing we really changed was our press offense from recently. So they're not really in different spots. After the Penn State game, for obvious reasons, we changed our press offense. But outside of that, I think guys are just getting more comfortable understanding the amount of attention that he's going to get at times and the trapping and where it's come. I thought our cutting off the ball was better. Keyshawn really cut well off of the ball tonight. But it's a hard thing to get your guys kind of used to doing, but I thought tonight was good.
And then just one more. You've talked really all season and for the last month or so especially about the approach your guys have had and the effort you've seen in games, even if the results in the end aren't what you want them to be. Had you guys not had that sort of consistency and approach and effort, do you think you'd be able to put together a game like this at this point in the season? And what's it take to sort of keep that mindset through some of the ups and downs you've had?
I think you need great kids, and you need regular dialogue, and you need honest conversations, and guys that care about the team, and I think if you have those things, and you have those things on a daily basis, you give yourself a chance to play better as the season goes on. No, I don't think that we would have been able to do this if we didn't have some of those things. But those things also aren't guaranteed for the last 2 weeks of the season. So it's really kind of a daily discipline for us as a group to be about the right things and to be focused on the right things and to move forward.
We talked about Justin. You brought up Caleb, CJ, but Andre plays 40 minutes.
Yeah. Did he play 40 minutes?
Yeah. Dwayne in the first half with 10 points.
Right? I did not take him out. Okay.
But just
blow. Good blow. Plenty of time for a guy to get a little breather, get a second win.
Is this about as well-rounded as you guys have been? Contributions in different areas from all guys, and guys off the bench making plays and whatnot.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I agree with you. That's where you're looking at so many contributions from so many guys. I do agree with you. I thought he was really good in some of his finishing. He battled. He's battling guys that are 3, 4, 5 inches taller than he is. I thought he was good with the ball in the press and in attacking the press at the point of the press a lot. Some of his decision making. I thought his finishes, he played more on balance. We've been on Andre from day one this year about playing with more balance because he can struggle with that at times. Made a couple threes. Just showed why he's a good player.
Andre's block on Cook, that looked like it was going to be one of those highlight film things.
Yeah.
That looked at that point.
Was it Cook or was it
Moss?
Moss.
Okay,
Yeah.
Moss.
If it's Cook, that would have been even more impressive.
Yes. But Caleb also had the steal in the front court. But that block, that could have been a 9-point game.
No doubt. I meant to mention that there when talking about Andre. Andre's block was a huge momentum play because you're right. I remember what it cut there, but I realized it was getting tighter there, and he has a real knack for that. In timing situations, Andre's we'll say 6'6", 6'7", but his length really helps him play bigger. He has tremendous timing. I've seen it in practice now a number of times where he has got guys have went and tried to punch on him, and he's timed it. And the biggest thing was we got that ball back, right? Because he's blocked some in the past, we haven't got it back, but we scrambled and got that ball back. It was a huge play, huge play.
Chris, it seems like confidence was one of the biggest reasons why you guys won tonight. I don't think we've seen you guys play with that kind of confidence in a while. Just would you agree with that sentiment, and how much do you feel like a win like this can help build enough confidence moving forward to maybe, get another marquee win like this here down the stretch?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think there is some truth to that. When you see shots go in, you do grow in confidence a little bit, and that can be contagious too. My college coach used to always say, confidence comes from competence. You got to do it. You got to do it over and over. And I think the fact that we have played well in stretches has given our team, I think, the belief that we can play well in stretches, in longer stretches, I should say. I will probably miss some shots tonight, and collectively, maybe they felt like they could have done some things differently. I don't want to make too much of this one game because I think there's still a lot of things that concern a coach, like our defensive approach has to get better and some other areas. But I think when you make shots, that confidence certainly can be contagious. But I also think that some of that's come from we've had good stretches of play here in the last month. We really have.
Chris, I hear you trying to pump the brakes on the optimism after a game like this, but there have been so many nights where I've sat here and asked you about getting confidence back, getting the bubble, all this other stuff. There's got to be some personal satisfaction for you and the players going out of this. How do you want them to celebrate? Do you want there to be?
I absolutely. I want them to. I want them to enjoy this night. Absolutely. I want them to be. To enjoy this night. I want them to enjoy playing the game and playing games that matter this time of year. I've talked about that a lot, that, we have a great opportunity here to play games that matter here these last couple weeks. Absolutely, I want them to enjoy it. I just think, this about me, like we're going to evaluate how we play, win or lose, and try to move forward from that. And, I've seen league play plenty of times. Just one game doesn't necessarily guarantee anything in the next game. It really is going to we're going to have to keep doing those things that we talked about that have helped us play well in this last month. And I read all the time about, Associated Press or whatever had something after our last game. Well, we've lost this out of this here. I really feel like we've played some really good basketball at times in the last month. And I think sometimes that get lost in wins and in losses. And we just got to keep trying to do that more.
I don't think you can expect him to score 29 points every game, but you guys, in all honesty, 50, 60 points, there's been kind of a lid on your basket in the last month. What would it mean if he even gave you 9 or 10 points each game going forward?
Yeah, I think that's what you did against Maryland, right? Which Maryland's one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think, is that reasonable to expect that he can come in and make some shots and get some offensive rebounds and do some things and be a guy that a lot of attention has to be. But I also think Dwayne's in that boat too, where guys really have to know where he's at right now. And again, offense is what everybody sees. Both those guys do have to grow in other areas. But, absolutely. I think that the threat that he can be is going to be important for our team moving forward.
You've been around basketball a long time. This is the 28th game of your season, and you had a guy who went into double digits for the first time and scored 29 points. Have you ever, in your recollection of the game of basketball, encountered anything remotely close to this as somebody to have a breakout game when your team absolutely had to win this game, and what it meant? Just have you recall anything close to this late in the year?
I don't. I'd have to think about that. Obviously not many. What I will tell you is I've seen in the past is freshmen emerge late in the season. Now, I haven't seen a 29-point explosion, but I've certainly seen freshmen emerge as key players in the last month and a half of the season because they understand the game better, their shot selection gets better. So that I think I have seen, Steve, but I can't say right now that I've seen something like this.
With as good as you guys were on the offensive end of the ball, you guys made a lot of shots.
Yeah.
What did you think of your guys' defensive performance tonight? Because it's not like Iowa was, terrible tonight offensively.
No, I think they're really good off. That's the strength of their team. I think they're tremendous offensively. Really well coached and just make it very difficult for you. I mean, listen, I like I said, they came in here and shot I think 48% on our home floor, and I didn't think our urgency and attention to detail was quite as good as it needs to be. I do think C.J. Jackson really helped us on that end. I will say that.
Adam asked earlier.
I think do you have one? I'm sorry. No.
Just talk about CJ's efficiency with the ball tonight. 1 turnover, 6 assists. We've had some games where he's had 7 turnovers, so just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, last game, last time we played these guys, he struggled handling the ball. And that's part of the reason we tried to change our press a little bit is to give him a little more help in the backcourt. But I thought his floor game was outstanding.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Adam was asking earlier about the importance of the win and everything. A couple of weeks ago, I think it might have been after the Illinois game, you said, we were asking you about the loss. Does it feel like a big loss? And you said, losses are losses. What about wins? Like a win like this, because there's been so much talk, haven't beaten a ranked team.
Yeah.
Is it the same? Is it just, or are wins different this time of year? Big wins feel like, okay, this was a big one.
Yeah, I think it, to coaches, I'm not going to sit here and say that, that a win like this is the same as winning a, non-conference game early in the year against a team that, is bottom third in Division I, because that wouldn't be reality. This was a quality team, team that came in here that had put together a really good season, had beaten a lot of people, and we needed to prove that we were capable of being. We've proven that we're capable of being competitive. We need to prove that we were capable of winning a game like this. So to that end, yes. As far as what it does for us moving forward or any type of momentum or, hey, listen, this is now, going to, move us forward. No, I think it's just it was a really important win for us. Let's see if we can get better and these next couple of days of practice and prepare for Purdue.
Real quick, second half you guys had 12 assists on 15 baskets. Was that just making shots because you shot at 57%, or was there more to it offensively that you saw with the unselfishness?
There was a little bit more to it. And I'm glad you point that out. I thought our interior pass, that's why I go back to Caleb. I thought he opened some things for us when we really needed to, kickouts and some of his interior passing. But I thought our guys played really unselfishly. I thought they did. And, I thought obviously Justin, again, making some of those threes against the press and making some open shots was critical.
Having some concerns about how the defense played overall, the way you controlled the defensive glass, they only had 4 offensive rebounds. How much was that a focal point of this game?
It was big. Yeah, it was big. Part of the reason it was big was because they're big, they're physical, they're long, they go to the glass really hard. And the other thing, Adam, is we were going to be doing some post trapping, and we all know that we're not the longest on the wing. So when you're post trapping, you're putting 2 big guys to the ball at times, and it's opening up offensive rebound opportunities. Got us a little bit late in the first half, but our guards did a good job cleaning up the rest of the game.
I have to ask you in the first half with the technical, just seemed like maybe things could have spiraled out of hand at that point. But
nice conversation, very just asking how each other's families were doing, and. Yeah, I deserved it, and and I just lost my cool. Yeah, I just lost my cool. Boy, I think we all know how important every game is now, and we know how important Caleb is on the floor, and we've been on him so much, and he's, I think, taken really good strides, and you know, not fouling and staying composed when he gets a bad call. Again, he was much more composed than his coach, and I thought he came back and did a great job the rest of the game.
That's what I was wondering, if you felt that he handled that pretty well, because early in the season that definitely would have gone the other way, I think.
Yes, I did. I did feel like he handled it well. And I told him on the bench, just stay with it. I'm probably going to put you back in the first half, and we did. You know, I'm not a sit-a guy with 2 fouls, a guy typically, unless the game is clearly in our favor. Then I might do that, but we needed him back in there for his offense, and we were able to do some offense-defense subs.